It's Chuck with Gaming Nexus. I'm here with David Nottingham from
Dynamite Team.
And we're here with CounterSpy. Can you tell us about this great looking game?
Yeah, CounterSpy. It's an action stealth game set during the Cold War. It's kind of our sort of satirical take on the Cold War era. You've got these two superpowers that are facing off in this epic space race, trying to be the first to launch a nuclear strike on the moon, which is not a good idea. So as you're an agent for this kind of rogue spy agency called Counter, and you have to go into the kind of military sites for both sides and sabotage, cause chaos, steal their launch plans, and try and prevent this from happening.
So how did you come up with the visual style of the game? Because it's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. It was all me. No kidding. Well, so we're super lucky. Like Mark, our art director, worked at Pixar for a number of years, and I think that's kind of pretty evident. You can see that inspiration or influence in the game. You know, for Dynamite, we're a new studio, but we're super passionate about having strong visual styles for any game. And for CounterSpy, being inspired by that kind of cool 50s era espionage world, we were looking at everything from sort of Saul Bass title sequences, the design aesthetics of the era. We kind of wanted to get it all together and really give it its own sense of personality. And something else that kind of we really feel comes through in the game, we hope, is sort of our personality as game developers. So it's very much a world where it's kind of a playful, slightly poking fun at the powers that be, and that's something we want to show through in the kind of the humor of the game and also in the visuals.
Can you talk about the protagonist and what his name is and kind of his style?
So the agent in our game, he's kind of Mr. Anonymous Agent for Counter, although he does have a name and a whole backstory. But he's kind of like the player's own, I guess, extension into the world. So you'll see from the design of the character in the game, he's kind of got a mysterious, slightly hidden face. He's got these kind of cool specs that pop out when he's hiding in cover.
How did you guys, speaking of cover, how did you guys come up with this kind of the mechanic where you flip from kind of like this 2D mechanic into like a 3D?
Well, it's one of those things, like everyone on the team has some kind of side-scrolling game or games that they loved playing growing up. And for us, like making a game in the side-scrolling genre was definitely sort of a kind of a rite of passion. But you know, given that we're sort of like a modern game developer, we're building the whole game in 3D, right? And so we felt like using that cover mechanic was like a really interesting way to sort of open up the combat spaces, give the player more sort of gameplay potential for the game. Yeah.
Okay. Now, at the top of the screen, you probably see here like there's the DEFCON level. Could you kind of talk us through how that works and how it goes up and why it goes down?
Yeah. So each superpower kind of has their own DEFCON level, which is sort of their state of the world. And the higher that goes, then the scarier it gets, the more likely they are to launch that nuclear missile at the moon that you're trying to stop. So that escalates based on your activities. So if you're running through, sort of gunning everyone down, causing chaos, you're going to see guards getting on the radio, calling in, raising that alert level. You're going to see sort of security cameras causing those alerts to go up. If it gets too high, then a countdown begins. And at that point, stop worrying about being stealthy. You've just got to get to the end of the level and try and get to the launch computer so you can abort that launch.
Okay. What else can you tell us about the game? Is it just single player only, I take it?
Single player, but it does have some PSN connectivity where if you're playing a game and your friend, it'll give you a friend's high score, and it'll be like, if you can beat your friend's high score on this level, then it'll unlock a, I'm sort of, oh, sorry, I'm just hitting that pause button thing. Keep it screwed up. Yeah, where was I? Okay, so it'll basically, you beat your friend's high score, it'll unlock like a downed agent, which is somewhere hidden in the next level. If you can find that, then you can get some goodies.
Okay. And you said that each level is dynamically generated, so every time you play the game it's a different experience, is that correct?
Yeah, so levels are stitched together in different ways, enemies, types of enemies, where they are, all the stuff you're trying to find in the game is all different. So if you play the game through once, or if you die and you're starting again, you're not going to see the same level.
Do you have a rough time when we're going to see this on PSN?
It's coming out in the summer.
This summer?
This summer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Guys.